Well, hello, hello. She is back from the dead. That's probably the best way that I can describe that. Oh my goodness, that was insane. Hello, how are you guys? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Yes, I'm here. I do apologize about last night. I swear to you, I think my own country is trying to take me out. Almost try. They almost got me, girl. They almost got me. Good morning. Well, for me, it's afternoon and also evenings. So, how am I feeling today? I'm feeling much better. Thank you so much for asking. I do apologize for last night because that was an experience that I don't even want my ex to experience. You know what I'm saying? And you know what ex is. You're just like, look, I don't really care. But this, no, and no. All right, so here's a quick synopsis before we get started, because today we're going to be working on parallel and perpendicular lines. So I just went out. I was ready to get ready for my sessions, and I was like, oh, wait, I haven't eaten yet. So I went to a place, got something to eat, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I need some mints. So I went to get some mints, and all of a sudden I had my first session. I was feeling okay, and then I felt really queasy, and I felt really dizzy, and I'm like, what is going on? So then all of a sudden, we're actually doing a little bit of snow action over here as well. So then all of a sudden I was like sitting here, I took the mints, and I took a couple of these mints right here. Nothing crazy, right? And then all of a sudden I started foaming at the mouth like I was a rabid dog. Yeah, that is not the norm in my household. And all of a sudden I was starting to feel sick and queasy, but I was like, look, Audrey, you got to suck it up because you got to do some tutoring. You got to suck it up. So I tried to suck it up, and I was okay, did the whole pep talk, and I had 3 clients in a row. By the 3rd client, there was one I had to stop and just have her work on a problem, and then I got sick, and I was like, what's going on? So anyone in the States, I'm going to zoom in right here. The reason why I was foaming at the mouth, because I didn't see this, there's seltzer. Who puts seltzer in mints? Right? Ridiculous. So if you get these icebreak, just don't. Because I was sick for the rest of the night. I think I'm finally overcome. I think I'm all right. So my cat thinks I'm yelling and I'm losing my mind. I'm not losing my mind. It's okay, baby. You don't have to jump up. All right, so we're good. Okay, so let's say we're all good. So now let's kind of get to the math. Actually, let me grab this cat before this cat jumps up here. I thought we were going to be cool, baby girl. Okay, all right. Go get some rest. Go get a nap. Go get a snack. Sometimes I wish I can tell a cat, go finish the laundry. You know, these pets gives us so much joy, but I'm like, can you do? Lynn, hello. Welcome in. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick review before I get into today's lesson. So the review is going to be on slope. So remember, slope is basically your change of the y over the change of your x's. Okay, so the difference of your y's with the difference of your x's. So if I give you an order pair, let's say -3, -2, and we have 1 and 6. So I want us to find our slope. Okay, so remember with our slope, some people like to do with the y sub 2 minus the y sub 1 over the x sub 2 minus the x sub 1. So if you don't like that, I'm going to write the word or. Since we read from left to right, a lot of us would like y1 minus my y2 over my x1 minus my x2. Okay, so all we're basically doing is finding slopes. Let me see if I can zoom in just a tad. It's so lovely that you guys are here. Thank you. What in the world? Glad you're here. I know. They're trying to poison us. they're trying to be nonchalant about it, but they're trying to poison us. That is so odd. We're wondering what happened last night. Yes, I know. I know. Well, hello. I got Lynn and I got my Lynn. My friend Lynn that is on Murderous Jewels. If you see, she sells an amazing, you should definitely follow her. Take a look at her jewelry line. I've known her since high school. Like we go way, way, way back. Because it's been, many moons since I've been in high school. So definitely take a look at her stuff. And there's actually a couple things I would love to purchase. I just have to get my life together. But if you ever look, and just go ahead and follow her real quick, Murderous Jewels. And if anyone else, right? Isn't it cool, little avatar? So, if anyone has if anyone's doing like a small business themselves that they want me to kind of like just shout out, go ahead, put it in the chat. That's what we're doing. Trying to help each other motivate and push forward. And by the grace of God, I should be here tonight. So I know a lot of people are kind of like, what's happening? Okay. Joanna, what's wrong? Why the face? Is it because we're doing slope and you're just like, I don't know what's going on? Or you're just like, I am exhausted. My life, I can't. Hello, Aiden. Welcome in. All right. Okay. So if we're looking here, since we read from left to right, this is my first point. So this will be my x1. This will be my y1. This is my second point. So that means this will be my x2. This will be my y2. Okay. Oh, wait, what? What happened? Yes, never mind. Okay. Same thing. Okay. All right. So yes, we're going to review a little bit about slope because getting this is going to help us with what we're actually learning for today. Okay. I know. I just like to check up on people, All right. So now that we have our X and our Y's, and we're going to use our formula to plug in to find our slope. Let me illuminate a little bit more. There we go. Wait, is it? I think I got it wrong. Okay. So let's see. If we're finding slope, and we're doing the y sub 2 minus the y sub 1. I'm going to do it both ways. And the x sub 2 minus the x sub 1. So my y2 is 6. My y1 is a negative 2. Anytime I'm plugging in a negative for anything into an equation or into a formula, I always put parentheses around it. And then my my x2 is 1 minus my x1, which is a negative 3. Why are you doing math with a pen? Because you can see it better than with a pencil. Plus, a lot of people tend to track it better with a pen than with a pencil. Why are you feeling kind of a little sheepish? Because I'm feeling boss. Okay, in high school, they forced us to use pens. What? Really? Oh, wow. I don't know about the forcing of using pens. I know basically you see it better when it's in pen than when it's in pencil. Okay. All right. So I have an 8/4 because it's more permanent than pencil after a few years. I don't know. Let's say which is 2. Okay. So do we agree that we get 8/4? Okay. Okay, so I got a 2, which is 2. Yep, 2. 2, that's what I got. Agree. Awesome. Because 6 minus a -2, when you minus a negative, it turns positive. So 6 plus 2 will give us 8. And then 1 minus a -3, when you minus a negative, it turns positive. So 1 plus 3 gives me 4, which can be reduced to a 2, or if you want to say 2/1, either way will work. Now, if you feel so inclined, if I wanted to use the other way, so if I did my y1 minus my y sub 2 over my x sub 1 minus my x sub 2, okay, my x1 was a -2, so -2 minus 6, and then you have -3, -3 minus 1. So a negative, that gives me a -8. Over -3 minus 1, that gives me -4. A negative divided by a negative gives me a positive, and a +2. So here's to show you that it doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which way. As long as the 2's and the 1's are matched up, okay, you're going to get the same answer. All right, my way of thinking double negatives is that negatives stack up to make a plus sign. Ooh, that's fun. Never heard of that one. Thanks, Red Diamond. Okay. Yeah, that's true. I like the first way better. Hey, that's fine because this is the one that's usually being pushed in schools, so you're used to seeing that. And that's fine, okay? But no matter what, no matter which way you pick, you're going to get the same answer. So now I want to know, let me see if I can get a little background from you guys. What do you guys know about parallel lines? Okay, what is it about parallel lines? What do we know about parallel lines? Okay, put in the chat, what do you guys know about parallel lines? My mom always says 2 wrongs don't make a right, but I reply, I beg to differ. Look at math. Way to be a rebel, Lynn. All right, so Melody, hello, Melody. They never intersect. Yes. Okay. Lynn says parallel lines go in the same direction but never meet. Right? It's like a lost love, right? It's like we go to the same school, but we never met, you know? Something weird like that. Okay, not me looking up algebra from my class, and now this is on my FYP. Well, hello, Carly. Welcome. Okay, I have the same M but different y-intercepts. Yes, Lynn, thank you. You have the same slope, but you have different y-intercepts. Janae says same direction, never cross. Good, okay? So that is going to be true. So the key things is you're going to have the same slope. right? And they will never cross. All right, so same slope and they'll never cross. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more to kind of get you into that. All right, so if I give you an equation of a line, so if I said I have y equals 2m plus 1, and another equation says y equals 2m minus 3. Okay, with these two equations, are they going to be parallel? Oh, and thanks for the follow, guys, and the share. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, so Lynn says yes. Hello, Lisa. You're just sneaking it all in here. Okay, NT Turnpike, hello. I haven't seen your name pop up in a minute. Good to see you. All right, so we got a yes and we got a no. What does the rest of you guys think? And I also accept question marks if you're not sure. I will also accept question marks. I'm feeling so much better, Lisa. Trust me. If you are, I think you're in the States, do not buy these things. Okay, I am plugging it everywhere. I took one of these mints, I started foaming up at the mouth, and all of a sudden, my whole life just changed. And not for the better. So let's just say it was a rough night. I think I'm past it, but those icebreakers, and I didn't know there was something that's sparkling. They put seltzer inside of a mint, and when you're not expecting seltzer in a mint, it's like a near-death experience because your stomach is like, oh, okay, you want an adventure. And it was an adventure I was not asking for. Right, exactly. So, well, damn, yes. And that's exactly what I was saying. I was praying to everything about God. Me and God was really, really close yesterday. Let's put it that way. All right, so back to this. My slope for the first equation is going to be 2. The slope for the second equation is also 2, okay? So I know I used the letter M. I should have used something else, but I just kind of threw it up there. But the number that's always next to the variable when it's at y equals, that's always going to be your slope, all right? So my slope in this case is 2, and they're both the same. So this is what's a parallel line, okay? So when you have the same slopes, that means we're going to have a parallel line. Now, and if we want to, we could do a little graphing. Let me slide this over just a tad. So I'm going to draw a nice little graph right about here. Let's see, boom, boom. And it's like -3, so we can go like to about right here. All right. So here is my 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my -1. That's my +1, and here's a -1. So if I'm looking at my first equation, I'm going to go with my starting point. What should my starting point be? So this is a little refresher of what we were doing last time. Okay, yeah, you were right. Yes, you were. So where do I start for this first equation if I were to graph it? Where do I start on the y-axis? Where do I start? What's my AKA starting point? Okay. So it's not going to be 0, -3. Yes, my y-intercept. So initially I start at the origin, but then I look at the y-intercept. The y-intercept in this case is a +1. That's where I put my first point. So from this first point, now I'm looking at the slope. So from the slope, I'm going to go up 2 and over to the right 1. Because anytime we have a slope that's a whole number, it's always assumed to be over 1. Okay? All right, so we start with the y-intercept, which in this case was 1. Then we use the slope to find the next point. So I went up to 1, 2 over 1. Okay? So now that I have my 2 points, I could also go down 2 over 1. But if I got my 2 points, I can draw my line. So now for the second equation, if I start here at the origin, I'm going to go to, you make everything looks and sounds so easy. It's okay. Well, I've been doing this for a bit, right? This is what I do. I used to be a classroom teacher, and I like breaking things down. Because when I learned this when I was in school, I didn't have anyone break it down. They just said, memorize this, do this. I think kids were supposed to be seen, not heard back then. So we're just going to do it step by step. Not a problem. All right. So how do you know if you go over to the left or to the right? Good question. So since it's positive, that means my top, my numerator, I'm either going up or down. Okay, so if it's positive, I'm going up. Now, my denominator, that's my run. I'm either going left or right. Since it's positive, I'm going to go to the right. So from my starting point, I go up 2 slots, and then I go over to the right. Okay, makes sense, Janae? All right, so -3 for the next point, because that's my y-intercept. So -3 is right here. Now I'm going to use my slope. My slope is a whole number of 2. Anytime you see a whole number, make it over 1. Because remember, slope is a fraction. Okay, that's all it is a fraction. So from my -3, I'm going to go up to 1, 2. And since it's a positive 1, I'm going to the right 1. And you can keep going that same pattern, going up to 1, 2, over to the right 1. So then now you got those points. And yay, Audrey finally drew the line through the points. All right. She's like, yes, thank you. Not a problem. Thank you so much for the follows. Oh, Lucas. Travis. Hey, hey. Smitten McChicken. That is so cute. I love that. I'm 26 and I miss school. Oh. Oh, thank you so much for those. I appreciate the gifts. I really do. I definitely didn't miss school. My last and final time graduating was 2023. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's try 1990 is when I graduated from high school, and 94 when I graduated from college. Half of you people weren't even a thought. I don't even think your parents even got together at that time. Okay. I was looking at matrices when you told me about it, but multiplying them is annoying and confusing. Yes, Lynn. Yes. Yes, it is. It is like you literally have to take a shot and just relax. And just like really like, okay, let me see what the pattern is. Like once you kind of get the patterns down, you'll be fine. You lost me at drawing the line. Okay, I'll help you right back. Me wishing this what I was still learning. Okay, I'm learning college algebra right now. Okay, and haven't done it since 2017. That's all right, Carl. I can help you out. You just let me know. All right. Do you tutor for Math 171? I don't know what Math 171 is, because every state and every college is different. Believe it or not, they all code it differently. Just let me know what it is. Same here, my dear. It's like, it's okay. All right, so once I start at the origin. I'm looking at my second equation. So my y-intercept is a -3. So that means I'm going to go down to -3 and plot my point. So now I have to go to the slope. The slope is going to tell me where to go to plot my next point. So since it was a whole number of 2, anytime you see a whole number, you put it over 1. So a +2 over a +1. So that means I'm going up 2 steps, then over to the right 1. Plot your point. And like I mentioned earlier, you can keep going that same pattern. Yep, rise over run, Travis. Thank you. So you go up 2, over to the right 1. Up 2, over to the right 1. Okay? And then you connect your line. So now, as you can see, the reason why we're doing this graphing is we have 2 equations with the same slope. And we see here, same slope, you got 2 lines that are not crossing, okay? They're just going along the road, okay? But they're not meeting, they're not crossing. Literally needed this last semester. Oh, okay, Vanessa. All right, so pre-algebra, yeah, I can definitely help you with pre-algebra, okay? And a lot of these components you may see in that pre-algebra curriculum, all right? So now that's parallel lines. So the key thing to remember when you see parallel lines, that they have the same slope, okay? So we definitely need to get that. Parallel lines have the same slope. Different y-intercepts, but the same slope, okay? So now, if we go into, let me see if I can grab a pen. All right. If we go into, and I always love how I spell perpendicular lines. Okay. So perpendicular lines. Now the symbol for perpendicular lines, or for perpendicular, is just simply, and I'm going to put it in the parenthesis up here, is just a capital T that's upside down. Okay, so perpendicular. So if you see this symbol, they're talking about perpendicular. All right, sometimes they put the 90-degree in there. Sometimes they don't. I've seen it in some tests that they didn't. They just have a regular upside down capital T. All right, so what we know about perpendicular lines, and this is the key. There's 2 things that you have to remember with perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines, their slope are opposite. This is so much the key. They are opposite reciprocals. Okay, so they're opposite reciprocals. And you're probably like, what the heck is a reciprocal? Reciprocal reminds me of a flip. Opposite means the signs. The signs have to be different. All right, so before I even do any kind of graphing or an equation, so say, for example, I gave you the original slope is 1/2. Okay. Is that showing up? Okay. So the original graph slope is 1/2. The opposite would be a negative, okay, because 1/2 is positive. That means the opposite is going to be negative. And reciprocal that means I'm going to flip that fraction to a whole number. 2 over 1 is exactly the same as saying 2. All right, so opposite means that signs have to be opposite, and reciprocal, one is a fraction, the other one's going to be flipped, possibly a whole number. Okay, so if I said a negative 3/4, what's the opposite reciprocal of negative 3/4? You can put that in the chat. What's the opposite reciprocal of negative 3/4? Okay, bang. Hey, Bam, what's this smoke? How are you? All right. Carl, good. Hey, Taz. All right. Nice. Nice. Hello, Jocelyn. Love, everyone's coming back. Nana Simone, hello. Yes. Hey, Joe. All right. Gotta go, guys. Lunch break over. All right, Melody. If you want, I will be here at 8:30 this evening. Okay? I will be. All right? So you guys are correct. It's going to be a positive 4/3. Okay? So opposite reciprocals. If I gave you a positive 5, what is the opposite reciprocal of 5? Good. Nice. Yes. Close, Travis. Opposite reciprocal. Okay. Kathy, good. Bringing in smoke, good. Joe, good. How much for you to tutor me? I know the tiers. It is pretty pricey. I mean, like, is it $1,000 an hour? No. But I can definitely talk later about that. If anything, go to the link in my bio and fill in the information from my website. I had to think of the words. ACG, the link in my bio and fill in the information from my website. I had to think of the words. ACG, the link in my bio and fill in the information from my website. I had to think of the words. ACG. Math tutor. Okay. Trying to call me. During live, not kosher. Okay. I think everything's back. All right. Hey, misbehaving. All right. So yes, Jacqueline, yes, I know. Someone was trying to call me. So if anything, the opposite of positive 5 is -5. And the reciprocal of a whole number is going to be a fraction. So remember, when you have that 5, it's really 5/1. And the reciprocal or the flip is going to be 1/5. So opposite reciprocals of a whole number turns into a fraction. Most times the fractions will turn into a whole number unless you got something like this. That's why I don't want to say, oh yeah, all fractions will turn into a whole number. That's not always the case because we got proof right here with that -3/4. So perpendicular lines give us opposite reciprocals, okay? They love to put a question like, find the pair that are opposite, or find the slopes that are perpendicular. They will always put like a question like that on GED or ACCUPLACER, even ASVAB. I think they put that on there. But they always just ask you straight out, which one of the choices are perpendicular lines? So you have to remember that they're going to be opposite reciprocals, okay? The whole fraction is negative, not the whole fraction, either the numerator or the denominator, not both, okay? So what Jacqueline has with the 1 over the -5, that works, okay? The ones with Travis and Taz and Lynn has, they have a -1/5, that works, but only just one, not both sides, okay? All right, so if we have, let's look at an equation. I think I could fit it in here. So if we have y equals, let's say, -6x plus 7. And the other one is going to be y equals 1/6 x plus 1. Okay. All right, good question. Yes, it was. If it was -4/3, would it be 75? What's 75? If it was negative 4/3, would it be 75? What do you mean? The slope? Okay, if both sides have the negative, then the fraction will be positive. So be careful. Yes. But right now, we're just flipping things around. Travis, if you can ad lib or extend what you were talking about with the 75, I'll greatly appreciate that. I think he's trying to solve for x. Oh, no, we're not solving. We are not solving. All we're doing is trying our best to graph. So there is no solving. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we can do it like this. Okay. So here's my 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. I always like to make my 5 a little bit longer so it's easier for me to find it. Okay. All right. So if I'm graphing this first equation, okay, so let's see if I can zoom a little bit. Okay. So if I'm graphing this first equation, my starting point is going to be where? Just for the first equation. My starting point is going to be where? For that y equals negative x plus 7. So where should I start? Okay. I'm seeing hearts, but I'm not seeing comments. Are we doing this fun thing again? Here we go. There's Travis. It was like, I don't know. Okay, I take that. 7 for the y-intercepts. I don't know, teach. Not a problem. All right. So when you're given this y equals negative 6x plus 7, first we put our point on the 0, 0. But then we go straight to the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, hey Leanne, the y-intercept is your conscious. Sorry. So now you're going to put your first point on 7 on the y-axis. Okay, so yes. All right. So you always start on your y-intercept. This is where you start putting your graph. First I start at 0, 0, then I look at my y-intercept. My y-intercept is 7. Boom, I'm putting it right onto 7. So now I'm looking at my slope to help me draw the next point. So that means we have a negative 6. Remember, every time it's a whole number, it's going to be over 1. Okay? All right, Joanna, good. So that means from this new point that I drew on the y-intercept, I'm going to go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then since it's a positive 1, I'm going to the right 1 and plotting my point. So how do we know 7 is the y-intercept? Because whatever the number that doesn't have an x or y next to it, okay, that's your constant. So you're going to start there. That's always your b. So the formula for y equation line is y equals mx plus b. B is always your starting point. Okay? That's always your starting point. Okay? Arrow on the sign for the second line. So why wouldn't you go over negative 2? Remember, the first top number, let me slide up a little bit. When you're dealing with slope, it's your rise over your run. So your rise, you're either going up or down, but your run, you're going over left or right. If it's positive, you would go up. If it's negative, you'll go down. For the run, if it's positive, you go to the right. If it's negative, you go to the left. Thanks, makes sense now. Good. Kidding. Haha. That's okay. I just don't have too much time to kid. I guess instructor think that we know that. Okay. Rise over run. Yes. This is all starting to sound familiar again. Thanks. Not a problem. So 7 was the run. No. 7 is your starting point. Okay. 7 is where you're going to start. All right. Time for me to go. Appointment time as usual. It was nice learning. Yes, Lucas. Nice to see you again. Hopefully you have a good day. Okay. Okay. Yes. So 7 is your starting point. This is where we start when we're about to graph. Then I go to the slope. So the slope, my rise is a -6. So I go down 6. Then my run is a +1. So I go to the right 1. And because I have that, I can draw my line. So for the second equation, what's my starting point for the second equation? Hey, Autumn, welcome in. Crazy lady, thank you so much for the follow. Or classy lady, sorry. I can't even see anymore. All right. Yes, Jacqueline, user, Joe, Janae, yes, Travis, yes, Leanne, yes. So I'm putting my first point at 1 right here. Get that little stray out there. All right. So from this point, I'm looking at my slope. My slope is a 1/6. So it's a +1 over a +6. So that means I'm going to go up 1, but I'm going to the right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I didn't give myself enough room. How am I going to do this? Oh. How can I fit it in? So many jokes come to mind. But here we go. How would I be able to do this? Okay. Normally I would go up 1. Good morning. And then I would go to the right 6. But I can only go over 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't make my graph good enough, but what else can I do? Yes, Travis. Yes, user, so many numbers. I still will have a positive slope, but I can say it's a -1 and a -6. Because remember, a negative divided by a negative will give me a positive. So still from this starting point of 1, if I go down 1 and to the left 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be right here. Okay, so I went down 1 and to the left 6. Now I have 2 points. Okay, so I would go opposite. Go down and then go to the left. Good, Jacqueline. Did you do that on purpose? Nope. You know, it's funny. You just roll with it. Because here's the funny thing. All right, here's a little small secret. All right, it's not really a secret. But when it comes to teachers, sometimes we screw up and we totally forget because we're overworked and underpaid and super tired. And then all of a sudden, a student catches our mistake, and then we play it off to say, oh, look at you. That's so wonderful. Yes. Okay, so let me guess what's confused. So when I started at the 1, and I tried to go with 1 over 6. So I went up 1, and I tried to go over 6. But I didn't give myself enough room on my graph to do so. All right. So instead, I have to go, as I think it was Jacqueline that said it. Yes, I have to go opposite. So in order for me to keep this slope positive, that means my numerator and my denominator both has to be negative. So if I still start at my y-intercept at 1, but if I go down 1 and then go to the left 6, if you notice from left to right, that graph is still going upwards. Okay, it's still going upwards. It's still giving me my positive slope. So in order for me to plot my point, I had to think of the opposite. So down 1 to the left 6 is the same as saying up 1 to the right 6. Okay. I wouldn't have gotten this right if it wasn't for you teaching this yesterday. Oh, well, thanks. My college algebra teacher tells us she isn't a real teacher. Oh, I'm actually learning from TikTok. She's tells you that she isn't a real teacher? That's okay. That's weird. Okay, gotcha. Forgot the y-intercept. Okay. Yes. So the y-intercept, anytime you get any kind of linear equation of a line, your y-intercept, that's where you start your graph. And the slope will tell you where to go to plot your next point. Okay? All right? But you notice, we have a line. We have 2 lines and they're intersecting. And guess what? They're creating a 90-degree angle. If you want to measure it, you can. But that's what perpendicular lines do. They create 90-degree angles in all 4 quadrants. Okay? All right? So when your slopes are opposite, meaning one's negative and one's positive, and they're reciprocals, the whole number turns into a flipped fraction, you're going to have perpendicular lines. Okay? Questions on that so far? Okay. All right. This is an interesting name. ZXYYXXZ. I just wanted to be something special. That was clean though. I do. That's what happened. All right. So what we're going to work on, I'm going to give you a couple order pairs. And then I want you to use the equation for slope, either one, it doesn't matter which one you use. And I want you to tell me if the slope is going to give you parallel lines or perpendicular lines. And you can tell by their slopes. So let me do a quick refresher because I know some people came in a little bit later. Okay. I got it until we ran out of paper. All right. So now, parallel lines. Remember, parallel lines, you have the same slope, okay? Different y-intercepts, but the same slope. As you can tell from our graph, oops, let me move this around. As you can tell from our graph, our lines are not intersecting. They have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. So for the perpendicular lines, the slopes are opposite reciprocals of each other. So opposite meaning one's going to be positive, the other one's going to be negative, and reciprocal meaning flipped. All right. So as you can tell, we had a -6 for my slope for the first equation and then a positive 1/6 for the second equation. So when we graph those lines, They did intersect at a point, and it does create a 90-degree angle. So they are going to be perpendicular. All right. Can you go to the top of the page? Sure. Let me see if I can unzoom just a hair. All right. Maybe even zoom up just so you can get that first one. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can get that first part, and then you can screenshot it. So I want you to get all of this because that's slope. That's the review of slope. Okay. All right, so you have the equation, the change of y's over the change of x's. Not a problem. All right, let me flip to the other side. All right, let's see. Where did I put my stuff? Okay, so we have... Okay, first order pairs, I'm going to do it like this. We have 0, -1, and 5, 9. So you have to find the slope of this order pair and then compare it to this line, which is 0, 3. And 4, 1. So this will be line 1, this will be line 2. So we want to find the slopes of both lines. So I'm just going to leave you alone to find the slopes of both lines. And if you want, I can write the formula up here again, just for those that were like, oh, I should have taken a picture of it. Well, let me write it down for you. All right. So there's your equation of slope. A lot of you guys like it this way, so I'm going to leave it. So go ahead. Not a problem, Janae. Have a good day. I'm here at 8:30. I will be here tonight at 8:30. I will make that happen. X is the starting numbers, yes. Think of the alphabet. I don't like the formula. Okay. So if you want to graph them, you can graph them to figure out if they're going to be parallel or perpendicular lines. These are the math problems I just had on my test, which was online. Okay. Aw, why do you dislike it? Because a lot of the stuff you do is math related. Us talking, our sound waves, our voice, our pitch, that's math. Music, that's math. The way our cell phones work, that's math. Don't be discouraged, okay? Just bought your book on Amazon. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And that's fine. You know what? TN bunch, that's fine. Like, I'm 52. I get it. Because we're so used to doing, but here's the thing. You're deciding to go back to school. And one, I'm very proud of you for doing that. Because a lot of people are not. Like, you want to do something better, and this is the one way to get through it. So we just have to get past this barrier in order to reap your benefits. And I'm really proud for you taking that first step, okay? So hopefully I can be a beacon, or I can be of some kind of assistance by you just keep coming on here. That'll be awesome, okay? Yeah, some of the wording messed everyone up. Yeah, I'm not doing any derivatives. That's calculus. That is not me. But if you do need help, and if you need a tutor, I got a guy. Okay, this is my 7th. This is your 7th what, Jacqueline? Not a problem. I love learning, not in school at the moment, but I'm an avid learner, and math is a sore spot for me. Yes! Trust me, Maisha, I get it. Okay, 7 attempt at college. Okay. Hey, I'm proud in the fact. Sorry, I had to put that puzzle piece where it had to go. Okay. I'm proud of the fact that you're still doing it, because trust me, it's just sometimes we want something so badly that we're just like, okay, I just want to get this. I want to get this. I want to pass this. I want to pass it right now. And we put that added stress on ourselves that we're not learning. And then all of a sudden we're like, man, everyone seems like everyone's getting it and I'm not getting it. And then you're just like, you want to stop because you're like, no one wants to ever feel dumb. But guess what? We all learn differently. We all process things differently. The word problems, and trust me, a lot of the wording can be off-putting, especially like if you ever, I'm not saying, I don't know what your lifestyle is, but like for me, when I was raised in a row home. I didn't know what an attic is. But if you're going to have a word problem talking about this person's trying to do something in the attic, I don't know what the attic is. Or the trees, the guy wire. Did you know a guy wire is something that kind of like holds the trees up in the city? Like you see that wire that's along the side of a tree that kind of holds it up just so it can, that's a guy wire. For years, never knew what that was, but it's in every SAT, ACT assessment. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage because you're putting in terms and words that I've never done. So don't worry. We're going to get this situated. Okay. All right. So let me get off my high horse and let's see if we can solve this. So for line 1, we have the difference of my y's, which is 9 minus a negative 1, over the difference of my x's, which is 5 minus 0. So when you minus a negative, just like, what was his name? Red something said, it's like a stacking. So when you minus a negative, it turns positive. So that means you have 9 plus 1. And this is still going to be 5 minus 0. So 9 plus 1 gives us 10. 5 minus 0 gives us 5, which gives us line 1, which is, let me slide over, which is a 2. So my slope is 2. Okay. All right. So what is that called? All right. So if we have our line 2, so line 2 was 1 minus 3 over 4 minus 0. 1 minus 3 gives me negative 2. 4 minus 0 gives me 4. So negative 2/4 can be reduced to negative 1/2 because 2 and 4, they both have a 2 in common. So if we have one slope that's a 2, one slope that's a negative 1/2, I agree with you guys saying that these two lines are perpendicular. Okay. Is this trig? No, it's not. It's algebra. Okay. Oh, never mind. Okay. All right. So how often do you... Okay, I go live Monday through Fridays at 1 o'clock. And Monday through Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Woohoo. How is that a 2? How is this a 2? How is what a 2? Is it that 5 goes into 10 twice? But since, yes, so 10 divided by 5 gives us 2. Yeah, 10 divided by 5 gives us 2. So we're doing division. Okay. Okay, there's no graphing needed. Me confused. Yep, you don't have to, like, anytime they give you ordered pairs like this and they say, is it perpendicular or parallel? You can find slope. You can find the slope of those two numbers and then do a comparison. So this one was a 2 and this one was a negative 1/2. So now my slopes are opposite because one's positive, one's negative. And then for the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. So that's why those two lines are going to be perpendicular. Okay, how would you graph that? Well, let me make sure I give myself enough room. So we have y, that's 9, negative 1. So if I come here, let's say negative 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I can do it right here. All right, so let's see if you guys can see the whole thing. So here's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So for my first line, I'm going to do it in red. So I'm going to plot the first point, which is 0, negative 1. So here's my origin, my 0, negative 1. That's my first point. The second point is 5. So I'm starting at the origin. I'm coming over to 5, and then I'm going up to 9. So for me to find the slope, let me see if I can zoom in. Okay. All right. So if I want to find the slope of these 2 points, I have to count. So how do I go from this point to this point? So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I went up 10. Now I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I went over to the right 5. So in red, my slope is my rise over my run. So I rose 10, and then I ran 5. And then I divide. 10 divided by 5, that gives me 2. Okay, I'm going to take my test. Thank you for the refresher. Not a problem. All right, you're going to do awesome. Do it up, Jacqueline. All right. So now for the other point, it was 0, 3. So here's 0, up 3. We'll put that in pencil. And then the other one is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1. So how do I get from this point to this point? Well, I went over 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went to the right 4, but then I went down 1, 2. So since I went down 2, that's a negative 2. But again, my slope is my rise. Can you see that? I'm trying to say. So my rise over my run. Okay? So this time my rise was a negative 2 and my run was a positive 4, which gives me a negative 1/2. So if I wanted to, I can go up 1 to the left 2, up 1 to the left 2. Notice this is all on the same line. Okay. Jackson. What is Jackson? Who's Jackson? Am I Jackson? I don't know. Okay, Jacqueline. Oh, Jacqueline, what test are you taking? I think she might be gone already. Okay. Oh, Alicia. Alyssa. Sorry, Alyssa. Okay, so that 2 would be 2 over 1. Yes. Yes, Kathy. So I meant Jacqueline. Oh, okay. I was like, what's going on with Jackson? Who's Jackson? What's going on? All right. So just by looking at the rise over run, okay, looking at the slopes, you can tell, is it going to be a parallel line or a perpendicular line? Okay. Okay, thanks so much. Not a problem. Okay. It's so funny. I had algebra today and we're learning this and I'm just so confused. Okay. But how are you feeling now? Because slope is the one that gets a lot of students. And when people are teaching it, we're like, that's like the easiest thing. But people just don't realize it. Okay. A little bit. Okay. Thank you for graphing it as well. Not a problem. All right, so it's hard for me. Not a problem. It's okay. We're going to make it step by step. Guys, I know I keep making fun of it, but I'm going to keep saying it. This is not Squid Games. It's not like when you get it wrong, you're going to be done. Like, no, you get to live again. If you're not going to make it perfect the first time, it's never going to be perfect. So it takes a lot of practice. Okay, you're awesome. We need you in NYC. Aw. I was like, you teach it better than YouTube. Oh, thank you, Underground. Oh, it's nice to see you again, Underground. I think it's more how they ask the question, true, and how they word the statements, what they're looking for. True. Okay, especially the word problems. And some, I'm going to say it. If they shut me down, they shut me down. This is how they kind of separate people from who to go to the college and who not to go to the college. It's almost like sometimes these tests is more so for reading than the math. The math is just the secondary, believe it or not. So it's just like you said, it's how you read the problem. Okay. If they ever lose TikTok, please go to Patreon. I don't like Patreon. I really don't. I'm sorry, but I do have a YouTube channel, so I'm more than willing, and I can go live on YouTube as well. So if there is no TikTok, I will definitely continue on to my YouTube channel. All right. And if you ever want to go in there, what I do is I take some of the videos and I make like smaller videos. What did you miss? We didn't miss that. I don't think we missed anything. So if anything, you can go to my ACG math tutoring. And this is my YouTube, and it should be listed in my bio. So if you ever want to go to that. All right. So I'm going to do a couple more problems and then we're going to wrap it up for today. Okay, because I really just want to make sure that we're okay with parallel and perpendicular lines. So if I give you two equations, so I have, let me see, 2x minus 3, y equals 2x plus 7. So that's one set. And then another set. So this is going to be set A. This is going to be set B. So we have y equals negative 1/3 x minus 3. And y equals 1/3 x plus 1. And then set C, we're going to have y equals 2x plus 7. And y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2/3. Why not? Okay. So I want you to tell me, are they parallel? So this is a symbol for parallel. Are they parallel? Are they perpendicular? Or neither? Ooh, or neither, depending where you're from. Okay. So we'll see if I can zoom a little bit so you can see it a little clearer. Put a little tilt to it. Maybe that might be a little too much tilt, but we'll see. All right, yes, because we got to pick up kids. Okay. I was like, can you go over limits in calculus? No, I cannot. Because I'm not doing calculus. Okay. So remember what we talked about. Might have to shrink a little bit so you can see the last one because I think the comments may be in the way. So are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Or neither, depending where you're from. So neither, what would that look like? Well, if it doesn't match up with the credentials of a parallel, and if it doesn't match up with the credentials of a perpendicular, then it will be neither or neither, depending where you're from. Okay. So like the only perpendicular, so Lynn thinks the only perpendicular is C. Both A and B are parallel. Let me go back a little bit. And Ivan thinks A is parallel. Travis thinks A is parallel, B is perpendicular, and C is perpendicular. Hey, Mink. Hello, Joey. Okay. Let's see if I can zoom in this way. Oh, thank you, Leanne. All right, so maybe if I zoom in a little bit. Maybe we can see some of the signage a little bit. King, you okay? All right, anyone thinking about changing their answers, or are you feeling pretty good about your answers? For a line to be perpendicular, it has to be the negative reciprocal of the opposing line. Okay. Yes. That is a definition of it. Yes. Okay, let me know when you're ready for me to go over. You can give me like a thumbs up. I'll take that. Okay. Good. Do you have to solve the equation first to find the answer? No, you do not. Okay, Travis Underground Railroad. Okay. Rolling in Yarn. Welcome in. All right, how about 2 more people? There's like 15 or 14 in here. Okay, I stand by my answer. Look, I love it. Stand by my answer. Both A and B are parallel while C is perpendicular. All right, good. I like that. Okay, you always want to stand by your answer. All right. Hey, Anne. Okay, so for A, where are we looking? We're always looking right here at the slope. Okay, the slope is the only spot that we need to look at. Okay, so they both have the same slope. So if they have the same slope, that means we have parallel lines. Okay, same slope, different y-intercepts. We do have parallel lines. Okay, how are we feeling? Okay, let's do this. Let's do a quick tap to see how you're feeling. If you're feeling great, tap crazy. If you're feeling meh, type in the word meh. Okay, so A is parallel. Yes, great. Yes, awesome. All right. Hey, Sue. When'd you sneak in here? So quick. All right. Okay, just got the understanding. All right, good. Meh. All right, I'll take meh. All right. So when we're looking at our slopes, if they're exactly the same sign, same number, the whole thing, we got parallel lines. I thought I got B wrong now thinking about it. Okay. Okay, here comes B, the ball buster. All right, and it is the ball buster. All right. So Travis, why do you think you got your B wrong? Why do you think you got your B wrong? Okay, because it's negative, but there's something else underground. There's something else. There's a what? It's like anticipation. Okay, minus. Okay, it's because the reciprocal has to be different signs. Lynn says it's not a reciprocal of the first line. Okay, we got two negatives. All right, so again, we're looking right here at the slopes. Now, a lot of people right away want to say, oh, they're perpendicular. Okay, the reason why they're perpendicular because their signs are different. Boom, we're done. No, they are opposite. That does check that, but we forgot about the second part. Okay, they're not reciprocals of each other. So 1/3, let me put it right here. 1/3 is not the reciprocal of 1/3. Can we see this? Now we can. All right. So 1/3 is not the reciprocal of 1/3. The reciprocal 1/3 is when we flip that 1/3. So the reciprocal 1/3 is 3/1. So we have opposites, but we don't have the reciprocal. Yes, negative 1/3 and 1/3 isn't the reciprocal. I got it right. So this one is neither. What? Neither? They're not exactly the same either. If they were exactly the same, this is positive 1/3, that's positive 1/3, then it will be parallel. If this was negative 1/3 and this was negative 1/3, that will be parallel. But we got one that's negative and one that's positive, and they're not reciprocals. It's neither. Or neither, depending where you're from. Okay, talk to me. Hello, Hollywood. So why do you apply the reciprocal? Because that's the definition of perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines, their slopes are always opposite reciprocals. Think about, I'm not sure where you came in. So when you have perpendicular lines, here's my slope, which was a -6. Here's my slope, which was 1/6. -6 and 1/6, they are opposite reciprocals, which gives me a perpendicular lines. Because when they cross and intersect, they actually create a 90-degree angle. So your slopes have to be opposite and reciprocals of each other. Yes. Okay, so if it was a +3, yes, at the top, would it change to perpendicular? If the top stays a -3 and the bottom stays 1/3, if this was changed to like a -3 and this was a positive 1/3, yes, that will be perpendicular. Okay. I know, it was a ball buster. You know, and tons, and trust me, not a problem. So Audrey, for both lines to be parallel, both their slopes have to be negative or positive. Yes, they have to be exactly the same. Same sign, same number, all that, in order for it to be parallel. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. That got me. I never again. All right. Not a problem. See, this is what I'm saying. This problem, they always put on assessments all the time. And people always pick it because they just remember the opposite signs, but they forget about the reciprocals. So trust me. That's why I put it up there, to kind of like throw people off. Okay, never again. This is Sparta. All right, so lastly, C, because I definitely have to leave at 2:30. So C. All right, so Maisha thinks the last one is perpendicular. So if we look at our slopes, we have a +2 and we have a -1/2. So yes, ma'am, these are perpendicular. Yay! Good job. Yes. So we got a whole number. We got this reciprocal. One's positive, one's negative. So they are parallel line. Finally. That's all right. Hey, it doesn't matter how long you get to it as long as you get to it. The whole thing, sometimes it's just the process of doing it. Right? Good job, guys. All right. I want you to celebrate yourselves. I really do. I want you to put whatever the fun emoji that hypes you up, I want you to put that in the chat. Okay? We'll worry about likes and clicking and tapping and all that stuff. I want to celebrate you right now. So celebrate yourself. Yes. We got Travis with the fire emoji. Yes, let's go. I want to see it. What's the celebration? What is that thing that's going to hype you up? I want you to celebrate yourself. Yes, Underground Railroad with the love. 5 times the love. Yes, we got the stars and I. Good job, Maisha. Good job. Loving this. Come on, keep celebrating yourself. Other plastic. Yes. Yes, you're going to feel brand new. Yes, D-Bench. Yes. Mind blown, Sue. Good job. Come on, keep going. There's 16 of us. I know there's more. Don't be shy. This is the place. This is the place to be like, you know what? I was just watching. I don't care. You know, TN Bunch, where are you? Are you still here? If you are, celebrate yourself. I really want you to celebrate yourselves. Can I get one more? Just one? Just one. All right. Yes. Great job, everyone. Good job. Thank you. Good job, everyone. So today we looked a little bit more into slope again, as well as we looked at parallel and perpendicular lines. And if anything, working, taking calls, but listening. Okay, I know. What's your schedule? What is my schedule? Like tutoring schedule? When do I go live? What would you like to know, Dr. Strange? I never thought I would ever say that in my life. What do you think, Dr. Strange? Because I will be back here. What's your name on YouTube? So it's ACG Math Tutoring. I'll put it into the chat. Both. Well, my schedule, Monday through Friday, I'm here live at 1 o'clock in the afternoons, Eastern Standard Time. Then Mondays through Thursdays, I'm on at 8:30 p.m. So I will be here tonight. I wasn't last night. I really wasn't feeling well. I totally got poisoned. Do not buy these. Don't buy these. I thought I was buying just regular icebreakers. This damn near almost took my black life out. Okay? I almost didn't exist anymore. Yeah, because they put seltzer, and I didn't read that because I was in a rush. So this is why. If you're going to put anything in your body, make sure you take the time to read what it is. So there's seltzer in here. I didn't know that. I took the mint. All of a sudden, I'm foaming at the mouth like I'm a rabid dog. I don't know what was going on. And then, yeah, later on that night, life was I don't know. Me and God was just having conversations, all kinds of things last night. So yes. Are you tutoring sessions an hour? Yes. So I go up to an hour, right? I'm telling you. So glad you're feeling better. Thank you. Yes, I'm definitely feeling better. So my tutoring hours goes up to an hour. So we just basically hit hard on what we need to work on. If you guys are currently taking a class and you need someone to basically translate what the teacher is saying, I'm more than willing to do that. If you want to, you can just go to the link in my bio, go to my website, ACG Math Tutoring, and just fill out the contact form, and I'll get back to you so we can make arrangements. I'm open 7 days a week. So just be doing that. And almost forgot. If you guys like how the pages in this book is being designed, I designed this notebook. What? Okay, yes. So I finally got sick and tired of seeing kids just not doing well with their math notes. It's all kinds of terrible. So what they do is I just basically take a lot of the notes and I kind of have it in here. And we just go step by step. Now, for me, I write rather large because I like to do presentations that you can actually see. But it's like I give a section where we can put the formula in, where we can put the steps on to the side, and also do like a little mood tracker. So with the mood tracker, just see how the kids are feeling before the assessment, how they're doing during the lesson, and how they're doing after the lesson. So I have it all listed here. If your teacher ever gives you like a paper that they said you definitely need to put this in your book, you can tape it inside your book on one side, and then the other side, you can summarize what is actually on that paper, because this is how you study math. You study math by practice. You do not study math by just flipping through the pages, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I got that. No. So I've done this before, and I will be gladly to do it again. So let's say, can I get a piece of paper? Let's say that you were learning how to divide polynomials. Okay, so you get a separate sheet of paper. You copy down that problem on the separate sheet of paper. Then you take your notes away. After you take your notes away, you're going to be working out the problem on that separate sheet of paper. No cheating. And once you're done, that's when you bring the notes back. And now you're comparing what you got on the paper with the notes in your book. So this is how kids are supposed to study math. You study by practice. Because for me to give you a blank copy of empty problems and without an answer key, it throws the kids off. But if they can use their notes as an answer key, and now if they want to do more practice, they can do that. So when you study, you have to study your notes. But again, there are some schools that don't allow their kids to take their notes home. Like, how do you expect them to teach and to learn for the test? Some people will say, okay, well, I just give my kids packets. And that was fine, especially with a lot of people that have special ed populations. But kids need to write. Even us as adults, we need to write so we can understand. By giving people a packet, you're taking away that advantage of learning. So I just figured, let me design this. And a quick review, I have a factor sheet. So I go from 1 to 200. So if kids don't understand the multiplication tables, they don't know how to reduce fractions, they can use the factor sheet. They can also look at words that are usually used for word problems. So all of this is inside my book as a resource. So they got adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, equals, inequalities, as well as, hey, this looks familiar. Hey, the definition of slope. Hey, this looks familiar. The equation of the line. We just did that. Tomorrow, we're going to look at this. Point slope form. Okay? So these are also in there as well. Also with the properties of exponents, order pairs. And it's just like a lot of things. How to do, area, volume, surface area. And then for those kids that are going to Algebra 2, the unit circle. So this is designed for kids that are like in 7th grade up to adults. So all this like process is going to be in here. Wait, where do I get that math notebook? You can get it on Amazon. If you go to my profile and if you click on my website, and you'll see like Ultimate Math Notebooks. There's a link that you could just click on and it'll take you straight to Amazon and you can purchase the book for yourself. Okay, that's also did that. Following. Where do you get these? I have 2 daughters that need this. So yes, Amazon. You can go to Amazon. Either you could type in my name, Audrey Codner, or you can just go to my website, because you guys are going to talk to me about math anyway. So you can go to acgmathtutoring.com, which if you click on the profile, you can click on my website, go to the Ultimate Support or Ultimate Math Notebooks. This is for 7th through adults. And then I also have this one, which is 4th through 6th grade. The reason why this is a little bit different, it's a little bit smaller, so it can fit in their bags better. And then also I use it as a way, which is called math tiles, so kids can practice keeping everything in line. Okay, still have the formula side, still have the step side, and they still have the resources in the back. But their resources are a little different. We got, decimal operation, we have fraction operation, we got some things about fractions in here, as well as they get the same factor sheet for both 1 to 200. And both of the books have what's called brain breaks. Sometimes we as adults and as kids just need a moment just to kind of declutter, maybe refocus. There might be some problems, some puzzles, and also some coloring pages as well. All right. Can I see that again? Which one? I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. So this one has 3 different covers, but it's the same materials inside. And this is from 7th through adults. Then this one, a little funky, with a little childish with that one. This is for 4th through 6th grade. Okay, you are amazing. As a parent, I can say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Oh, no, thank you for caring. Thank you, Maisha, thank you for saying that. Trust me, there are some nights I wonder. Because I'm just trying to think of ways to help people, for them to see. I'm wondering why this person's not calling. I second that. Thank you. I really want to help people to see their greatness, because I feel like as we were growing up, maybe it was just me, that there are so many people to put me down, but not that many people to build me up. So I want to be that person before the Lord takes me, which this thing almost did. Before the Lord takes me, and just want people to see their greatness. I really do. And I don't want any kind of barriers. So you guys are going back to school, I commend you. Okay, really stick with it and don't worry about that. Would like 4th grade. Okay, so yes, so 4th grade, all my notebooks, I always tried to build some kind of positivity. Don't need that. So I always have encouraging words in the beginning, give them a space to write. But then this is what happens. On one side, it's like a math tile. So we're trying to work on lining up your numbers in the right number values. As well as the other side is exactly the same thing. So if we need room for extra practice, you can. You can use this for graphing. You can use this for anything. Do you have to download the book? You can download the book if you want to as well. Okay, that option is also in my website. So because some people are just I just want to try it out, so let me use the download before I invest into the book itself. Hey, whatever it is, both of them are there. Okay, and then at the same time, the resources that you have in the back, we have this for the factoring. The place values. Notice it's in color. So most of these books, some people like to just do it in black and white. Yes, it costs more to put it in color. That's the main reason. But it's so much easier for students to see it better when it is in color. Also, estimating and rounding is in there, as well as long division. This is vital, okay? Ever since these got into the classroom, a lot of people stopped teaching how to do long division because they figure you can just put it in the calculator to get the answer. But guess what? Later on, you're going to have to learn how to do long division for polynomials. So that's why a lot of our kids struggle with that. As well as the conversion chart. We have conversion for years. We got length and height, volume, weight, mass. Okay, I need both. Go. Go ahead. Adults going back to college appreciate you. Oh, thank you. So where can you purchase it? On Amazon. So if you go to my website, just click on my profile and you'll see ACG Math Tutoring. You can go there, and once you see purchase on Amazon, click that link and it'll take you straight to Amazon. And it'll take you straight to the book so you don't have to go running all over the place. Let's see. OMG, I need it because my son tells me he does not like division. I know, because a lot of schools are just starting to teach it, and then the teachers are like, what do you mean you don't know how to do division? But if you think about it, a lot of our kids struggle with multiplication. Hence, that's why I developed this. Because they don't know how to read the multiplication chart, guys. They really don't. They really don't. And the days of doing the cadence in the classroom, that's done. That's completely done. They don't do that anymore because they put this in the classroom. So that's done. That's completely done. They don't do that anymore because they put this in the classroom. So they put this in the classroom. So they figure, sorry. All right, so I need it. Does the download? Okay, sorry about that. Does the download print in color? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, I didn't go chimsy on it. I just figured that if you're gonna print, you're gonna print. That's gonna be your ink. Right now, this is just Amazon takes their little piece for it. And then if anything, I have like a QR code that you can scan to give you ideas of how to use each of the notebooks. So I always like have like a preview there or start here. Okay, because eventually these books will be sold. I don't know about Walmart because they're just playing around with people's minds and intelligence. Okay, I agree. And Chat GPT, yes. Thank you, baby. I'm going to do that right now. Not a problem. Thank you. Yes, I was told don't focus on teaching them adding fractions. Just show them how to put in the calc. Yep. And that's the thing. Because then all of a sudden when they come into advanced classes, let me see if I can find it. Because I talked about it not too long ago. All right, so here we go. Dividing polynomials. I was teaching this the other night. Yeah, sometime this week, right? So if they don't understand how to do long division, every time I did this lesson when I was in the classroom, I had to teach them how to do long division first, then do this, okay? So it was always a bit much. Thank you for the follow, Brittany. All right. Okay. Everyone is good. So yeah, I'm here for it. If you ever want to talk about education and, well, I don't even know what education is going to look like in the next couple of months because of all these different changes. And I'm going to be truthful, people. He didn't lie. He put everything on Project 2025. We just weren't expecting it to happen so quickly, to be honest with you. So here we are. It's about learning the concept. Yes. Just bought my books for 9th grader and myself because I'm in calculus and I will be needing to brush up. Thank you. Not a problem. All right. Each one, teach one. Yes. And that's what we have to do. And that's why a lot of people are starting to do what they think is homeschooling, which is taking the kids out of school and they're like, okay, here's a curriculum. All right, you kid, do it. No. Parents, if you're going to homeschool your kid, you need to homeschool your kid. So you have to be there. And I know it's hard because you got to work. You know, you got to work. You got to pay bills. You got to make sure you get a roof over each other's heads. Like, you're trying to do all the little things. And trust me, sometimes it's not the teachers. The teachers really want to teach, but it's just 1 minute they want this curriculum. And I've worked at a school where I had 3 different curriculums in 1 year because they were just trying things out and seeing which one would cost the less. So I don't know. But anyway, I am going to go. I'm going to see if I can get myself a little bit of something to eat before I tutor for today. But as I said, I will be here this evening at 8:30. Regardless, I'm going to be here. So tonight we're going to go through what I didn't go through yesterday. So that was factoring trinomials, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Factoring trinomials in 2 ways. So that's what I'm going to be addressing tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right. So have a lovely evening. If you need assistance, if you're taking classes and you just need clarification, I'm thinking about getting together. I think a couple people wanted to get together to do like a study group for the ASVAB. That's what I got so far. Not a problem. Not a problem. But if you do need assistance, please do not hesitate. Because if I have to put like some study groups together, I'll put some study groups together. Because study groups, and when I say study groups, I'm not saying like a group of 10 people, because that's dead. Because no one's not learning anything. It's too much. At most, it'll be like a group of 4. And really just learning from each other. And it's a lot, for me, I would say it's a lot cheaper when it comes to tutoring versus my one-to-one. Again, I'm not saying it's like $1,000 or anything, but, you know, it does cost a little bit. So if anything, hey, I will see. Yes, study group, please. Yes. So again, go to, because I did this, I made sure I made a page. Like, you could click anywhere on that page where it says TikTok study groups. Click on there. There is a Google form that you can fill out. So it really kind of gives me an idea of like, where should I guide it? Am I doing more ASVAB? Am I doing more GED? And I also developed some courses, which I gotta learn to promote. I also did some courses that if you want to do something self-paced, you can do that as well, okay? Because this is what happens. You work on it self-paced, and then if you get stuck and say, hey, Audrey, can I meet to talk with you about X, Y, and Z? Then we set up a date and a time, and we meet, and that's all part of the payment as well. So I have one that you can pay in full, or you can do monthly installments. And the monthly installments is up to like 4 months, and you get access, lifetime access to the course. So that's something else to think about. All right. All right. Thank you again. Thank you. And thank you for the likes. Oh, over 5,000 likes. This is nice. So thank you again. Have an amazing day. Please don't think that you're by yourself with this. You're not by yourself with this anymore. Okay. You have someone that's willing to break concepts down to you. All right, guys, have a good one, and I will see you hopefully this evening. All right, take care. Bye now.